Okay, everybody, sorry about the delay. You're all very welcome back here again to STS, and thanks William for coming. We've got a few people on the panel today for your Q&A session. We have Podge Collins, very welcome, Barry Nash, Sean Ryan, and Gary's going to help me with the meeting this morning, and he's going to say a few words on behalf of STS.
Thanks very much, Lizzie. Yeah, so my name is Gary Dillon. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer with STS in Shannon here, and delighted to welcome you all back again in St. Conaires National School. Very familiar myself. My wife is a primary school teacher, so I know that this year is a big year for you. You're graduating today. My little fella is also graduating from Conaires National School today at 1 o'clock. So I wish you all the very best, and exciting year. And so delighted to have you back, and we have an exciting panel here today. We've Tipperary, Limerick, and Clare here to represent the respective counties. So I'm Clareman myself. But so we kick it off, and thanks for welcoming. We're going to welcome you all again today with some food afterwards as well. It's great to see you all. Thanks.
Thanks a million, Gary. Oh, and do you want to manage the questions or?
Absolutely. Thanks again for inviting us back. I suppose first time we met, we were invited down by yourself and Ben, and at the time our class were participating in a junior entrepreneur project. So it tied in fantastic because we managed to have a meeting with Ben, and the class were able to kind of ask him a lot of questions about being an entrepreneur and what it takes to be an entrepreneur, and what are the risks involved and the advantages and disadvantages, and the class took a lot out of it at the time because they were coming up with their own business idea, and following a few weeks or months after that, they came up with their own business and they put it into real life, and they were trying to make a little profit. So it was a good project. So that was excellent the last day. And then when they heard we were invited back and getting to meet the three lads, they were wondering, and I'll get the kids to ask questions, but they were wondering how they mix work life, business life, training. So maybe will I leave the questions open to some of the pupils? That's
100%. Yeah. 100%.
Anyone like to go first? Saoirse. I'd say that's good.
In your own opinion, what do you think is more important, talent or hard work?
So you want to take it up, or? Yeah, I'll start there. Obviously, talent is very important, but I think in terms of attitude, work rate, you can't beat it. You can be the best player in the world, and if you don't work hard, you're not going to get the results that you expect. But if you don't have the talent, but you have the work ethic, you can always work on that talent. If you're putting in the work each day, that talent will improve, and you get better and better. So I think definitely, in my opinion, it will be the work rate will come ahead of talent. Question though. Well,
very good. Good question.
Very good. Anyone else? Andre.
How would you eat for a match?
So the question, what would you eat before a match?
So there's probably there's a lot of key athletes, and they all sorts of sports. So I'd say they're always looking to get that bit better. And I suppose that's a great question. What's kind of good before a match?
Yeah, I suppose a lot of people would kind of worry about an hour or two before the match, but eating correct, I suppose, starts weeks in advance, and the day before the match is probably the most important part. I know the lads probably do the same, but we take on an awful lot of food the day before, so you have the energy in the body for the day of the match, and then the day of the match you just top up with maybe chicken and pasta and stuff like that. So that's kind of what we've been going.
And what don't you eat, Sean?
The obvious ones, chocolate and things like that. Try to stay away from, but it can be hard sometimes.
For everyone.
Shane.
How much hard work does it take to make a county team?
good question, but
I suppose it takes a lot of dedication and sacrifice to make a county team. Like I think Barry kind of alluded to it. If you're talented and you put in a lot of effort, you put in the hard work. Like over the course of my career and seeing players, it's the lads that work the hardest that stay around the longest, and there's more longevity with them. They play for longer. So just a lot of hard work, regardless of talent. It's always, you ask any player, and it nearly goes with work as well. if there's a person in your team and work that works hard, they mightn't be the brightest, they mightn't be the most talented, but if they work hard and they have a good attitude, that's more important. So it's the same in like hurling or football circles. If you have a good attitude and you work hard, you'll have a good, I suppose, long career. If you have any bit of talent, and if you're inside in an inter-county panel and you have all the talent, but you have bad attitude, or you're not willing to work, you'll probably have a very short career. So good attitude and hard work, and if you've got a bit of talent, I think you'd stay there for a long time.
Combination.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go, Charlie.
What age were you when you actually got into it?
Sorry, what age is like?
What age were you when you actually got into it?
Okay, so I was lucky enough, I come from kind of a hurling family. So my dad and my uncles would have played for Limerick. And I actually have a cousin who plays in goals for Cork as well for a while. So I suppose I grew up with a hurling in my hands. So I remember being out the backyard in my grandmother's house with all my uncles, cousins, 5 years of age, walking around, and sure, every night, every evening, every weekend we went up there. There was always a hurling in our hands. So I suppose I was lucky in that way, but there's lots of players and people who start hurling at a later stage, you know. So I don't think it really matters when you start playing hurling. It's just how much time and effort you put into it when you start.
Well done.
Charlie. Martina.
Have you played anything?
Have you played any
Yeah,
different?
so growing up like that, would have played hurling, soccer, racquetball, anything I could have really got my hands on. And they all tie in, I think. They're all effective in probably making you a better hurler with the coordination skills and maybe like the footwork and all that. So they all tie in. And then I suppose starting to hone in on hurling maybe in my teens and through secondary school and really kind of dedicating myself to hurling around that time. But I think from a young age, year age, it's brilliant to actually play all sports because it develops you as an overall athlete. So I definitely wouldn't say tie yourself down to one sport at this age.
David.
When the season was over, what do you do to relax?
Never
I'll
over.
take that one. Probably when you're playing in the county now, I'm retired now, so I'm still playing with the club. So in our off season, I probably like to try organise a holiday, depending if work permits. And my wife probably doesn't get to go away as much as she'd like during the peak months. Like from probably the ages of 11 to 30, I never had a summer holiday. So if I wanted to go away, I was lucky enough that I got to go skiing a few times and stuff like that. So a holiday is nice to unwind and relax. But to be honest, when you're playing and you're playing like in the county or club in your college, you can often see years go by, like 12-month blocks. So quite often you don't get a lot of downtime. But when you do the downtime, like go away, I suppose I love skiing and snowboarding, so that's what I'd do to unwind if I got a chance.
Cool.
Good question. Alexandra.
Who was your role model?
Good question.
Good question. I suppose the role model for me at the time, my cousin was playing goal for Cork. So he was the big name in our house. He was playing minor, under 21 days success for Cork, and then he went into seniors. So I suppose for me, all I ever wanted to do was be a hurler and play with Limerick. And to see a relative of mine playing in county was probably a big thing for me. Because I always had my dad and my uncles to look up to, but to actually physically see them playing in that present moment, that was a big thing for me. And I suppose in terms of other players that were out there, I always loved watching Tommy Walsh from Kenny. He was always a big one for me. I just thought I loved the way he approached the game, the way he played the game. Yeah, he would have been one of my favourite players growing up as well. Yeah. So my cousin would have been my role model. Yeah.
Very good.
Do you like to share who your role models are?
Yeah,
Anthony
so
Nash.
Yeah.
Anthony
yeah, I'd say mine would have probably been probably Noel McGrath and Lark Corbett. And I suppose they had a very successful period when I was maybe year age between 2008 to 2014, where they were at the top of the game and winning all Ireland's. So watching them was amazing, and then to actually get to play with Noel McGrath, dream come true. Like, what an amazing player and amazing person. So learning off him is probably something I never would have thought I would have done at your age, especially watching him as a kid. Like, you think he'll be well gone by the time I get on the stage. But yeah, he would definitely be my role model growing up.
Person who has their hand up right now actually was playing in Thurles 2 weeks ago as well.
Oh,
Saturday
very good.
against Conaires.
Oh, what's your
Playing
name?
at half time.
Queen.
So this is Quinn.
Well done.
Brilliant. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
And what position do you play?
I was playing midfield.
Midfield. Okay, so that's a big position, covering all aspects, I imagine. Wow. And how did you get on?
I think it was a draw 1 point.
But you enjoyed it anyway.
Yeah.
Well done. Have you got a question, Quinn, for us?
Did any of your friends when you were playing younger, did they make it up senior with you?
I'm just going to repeat the questions because we actually have Ben online here. He's away at the moment traveling with work. He's listening and he's part of this whole group today as well. So you better repeat it for me again.
Did any of your friends when you were younger make it up to senior with you?
Any of the friends make it up to senior?
Yeah, I suppose I was very fortunate in my club that I had a group of players at the same age as me that were all very into hurling and football and managed to, like when I played senior, the first year I played senior, 3 of my club mates that were my age played senior as well. So like one of my role models, just to go back to that question, was Conor McGrath. Even though he's a year older than me, he's from my club, he was just an exceptional talent. So Colin McInerney, Conor McGrath, Conor Ryan, Liam Markham, my brother Sean, we were all in the care team for a year or 2 together. Liam Markham, sorry, not me, but so we had a nice old group together. So yeah, to answer your question, I suppose I was very fortunate. I don't think everyone's that lucky that to have the, let's say, 5 or 6 lads at the same age in their own club going up together. But yeah, that's to answer your question. And I was lucky enough, I was in the stand in front of the year game watching in Thurles, so I got to see it all at half time, and I thought they were very good. The care team were well able to run the ball. It's good watch. So well done.
Okay. Excellent. Any more questions?
Yeah, it's your shot.
Oh, Saoirse. Are there any sports you'd like to play that you didn't get to play?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I suppose I would have been big into rugby, I suppose, growing up. I would have been playing a bit with my school, my secondary school, and it did come to a point where I had to make a decision. And I made that decision. I think I made the right decision by playing hurling. I don't think I was built for rugby in the end, looking at some of those Munster rugby players and Irish internationals. But yeah, rugby, and the other one I suppose that I would have loved to have taken up would be basketball. I play a lot of that now in my present day. But I would love to play that a bit more in school and just seeing what can be done there. So I'm a big fan of the sport, which that would be one of sports. Michelle?
Yeah, so soccer would have been the other big one for me. So I love playing it. I still play it now in the off season if I get a chance. Might only get 4 or 5 games, but really enjoy it when I do play it. And I actually do love basketball as well, but I'm a little vertically challenged, so I might be very good at the basketball. But yeah, I love playing it in the off season. Try to get as much sport in as I can, because it gives you a break from hurling as well, which you need. So.
Very good.
Tennis. I love playing tennis, but I just never really got the time to have a good stab at it. Like during COVID, now it was a good opportunity. Crap, there's 2 tennis courts. So when the GA was kind of called off for a few months, me and my friends were sneaking out to the tennis courts and playing a few games. So I used to love tennis.
Oh. So Peter.
Yeah, because you're all very successful in life and business, but on the other side of that coin, it's disappointment. You don't win a match. How do you cope with that? We saw Rory McIlroy.
You take this.
Hoping the disappointment.
He lost the match, has he? But you know what I mean? In terms of even with the business project, the class stage, they all did their projects and the dragons are there, but you have to pick one winner. But they all rolled in, and that was a great learning thing. We probably lose more than we win, I think. Yeah, maybe except for Limerick, but what advice would you have for the year?
Yeah, I think even in GA, it kind of nearly worries me a bit the way it's gone, in the sense that there's this no losers mentality, and there's probably people that smarter than me that are implementing this kind of strategy. But like I would say, from my own point of view, when I was 14, I got dropped out of Clare Forest, and it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. Like I was very disappointed at the time, but I just worked harder and worked harder to get better. And I think that's the same in business and in work. Like you have loads of setbacks and loads of failings, and you learn from that and you grow as a person from that. Like I always find in a match that we lose, I always analyze it a lot harder like even I don't mean to do it. After we win a game, I want to analyze and see what worked well. But regardless, if I lose a game, I'll always analyze that game better and I'll learn more from it. So I think we definitely, as people, learn more from losing. So I think once you're learning from losing, you have that mentality and to grow, that growth mindset to get better, and you'll be successful or you'll achieve great things if you work hard. Yeah.
Thanks. Go in again. Yeah.
What was one of your worst injuries?
One of your worst injuries.
I'm lucky enough. I've never had anything that set me back too much. Had small injuries, all right, that set me back a couple of weeks, but I'm very lucky that I've never actually been on the sideline for 6 months, because I can imagine it's a tough place to be mentally, and watching your friends out there and your teammates training, playing matches, and you want to be out there helping, but you just have no choice. And going forward, and just like I said, luckily I've never actually had to do that.
And the rest of you?
I'm similar to Sean now. I've only had a couple of knee ligaments and cartilage injuries that once set me back maybe 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks max. So I've been very lucky now. Some players can be really distraught with injuries. Two of them off the top of my head are Rich English and Sean Finn from our team, who've done the cruciate ligament twice, which is basically a 12-month turnaround each time. So that's a full year without playing any sport, just doing rehab. From what they said, I suppose they said that mentally it's harder than physically. So to have to not to watch the lads out training, to not be able to be there, participate in games and matches, that's probably the hardest part for them. But I don't know how to do it.
I did my cruciate ligament when I was about 23, and it was definitely tough. But you just try to work on other aspects of your game and your life and everything. So I tried to get a bit more mobile and build up a bit of muscle in the gym when I could do that, and I couldn't run for those, let's say, 9 months. So just see it as an opportunity to improve. And once it wasn't career ending or career check, and cruciate ligament is something you just get surgery on. So there's like a ligament that kind of connects your bones here, and that just snapped. So a surgeon opens up your knee and ties it back together. And he said to me after, you have a brand new knee now, but it'll take you 9 months to get it right and get back moving perfectly. So I got back after 9 months and felt fairly okay.
So far, so good.
Yeah, and it's still moving around for another bit.
Shirley?
Who would you say is the best on all your teams?
Who is the best on all of your teams? Ooh.
You can go, Sean. You can say it.
It's a tough one, yeah. I know I
You
mentioned them
are, of course,
already.
Sean.
Huh?
You are, of course.
Yeah, that's the right answer. I'd probably say either Noel McGrath or Ronan Maher probably for us. And two leaders, and what I've never seen anyone make the ball talk the way they can. And honestly, what they can do with a hurling ball is unbelievable. And it makes sense too, because the work they put in off the field is second to none. And just seeing where they can place the ball, put it in their hand, the way they can make it move is amazing. And obviously their leadership in the group. When things didn't go well for us this year, they were probably the two that stood up in the dressing room on the field and actually tried to rally us a bit. So they're definitely the two best in our team, I'd say.
Yeah, from the Limerick team, I could name so many players. To be honest, they're some phenomenal hurlers, and I'm looking to be involved with that group at the moment. But I suppose in terms of talent and work ethic, I have to go with Keane Lynch. His hands are wizardry. Like he can do anything. Like Sean said there, he can make the ball talk. And his attitude is incredible. His leadership, he's just really admirable person. He's a great role model for anyone to look up to. But yeah, definitely probably top of that.
I'd say Shane O'Donnell probably in the current team behind. So I just from Shane, I suppose he's probably like 5'11" maybe, but his ball winning ability for a kind of inside forward for some of his height is just exceptional. So he's one of the few people that you can hit the ball as hard as you want at him, and he'll take it. Because I've gone to coaching there in the past year, and I'm always kind of trying to say to players, there's two people in a pass: person giving the pass and the person collecting the pass. So in the case of Shane O'Donnell, you can hit it as hard as you want, but if it's coming to me, I want to be taken off the ball. Like, don't hit it as hard. So he's able to take the ball whatever way it comes. So he's an exceptional talent. So I'd say Shane.
And I'd say Barry has his work cut out for him there. Marking that player.
I do. Yeah, we get to see him again this year. Playing against each other.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How do we balance work life, training, maybe family commitments, probably eating correctly, going to gym? Like, how do you like? Do you ever kind of go, oh, I'm sick of this, I'm getting tired. Maybe you've had a hard day at work and you need to go training. Do you ever feel like, oh, I want to go? Why am I doing this? How do you balance all that? Because we had spoke before the class. You obviously train as much as professional athletes, but I suppose the difference is they get to rest when they're finished training or finished matches, whereas you have family work to go to. How do you keep it going?
Yeah, like it is tough. And to be fair, everyone has to make sacrifices. You know, it's not just you making sacrifices. You know, not the time. It's your partners, your family members, your friends. Everyone really does sacrifice because your time is spent working and your time is spent then each kind of football. So yeah, it is a tough balance act, but I think if you're organised and you make the most of your time when you have time off, spend it with the people who you love and care about. And I think it's important, obviously, that organisational point to have your gear ready, have your meals prepared. Like you have time at the weekends there, you'll always have time there to get your food ready. Like food prep for me on Sundays is what we kind of do, spend a bit of, you know, you're cooking the food, but it's a bit of quality time there together, you know, yourself and my girlfriend in this case. So it's like, you know, different things you kind of build in. But yeah, you just have to find the time. It's important. And like that, like you said, there are tough days. You don't want to go training, but it's the discipline that you set yourself out and the routine that you have to follow. There'll be days where you don't want to train, but you know it's important. You have to be there. You know, you have a team, a group there that rely on you to be there to train at your highest quality and to get the best out of your group. So, you know, it's not just you. You can't be selfish. You have to do it. So.
Yeah. Well, Hodge, even like yourself, All Ireland win, league win, club Munster wins. Last year you came back and won football again. But how do you keep going, or do you ever decide, oh, my friends are going on holidays there in July or August, I want to go with them, but I can't? How that drives you to keep going?
That definitely did pass when you're younger. Like it definitely passed my mind. Like five. I did groups of five. Like there's five of us. Me and my four friends. One of them went to Canada to live in Canada. The other went to New York. The two others went to Australia. So like during that period, like it's tough because you're losing your close friends. But my priority was always GA. So, and I think that's what it comes down to. Whatever it is, whether you're playing an instrument, whether it's your studies or whether it's your sport, priority. Like you prioritize what's important. Like even like our club at the moment, we used to do gym yesterday, and I got a accountancy exam next Friday, and I was on this off the ball roadshow. So it was like this inside Dolan's last night. But like I finished work at 5:15, and I'd be in Dolan's for 7, and we did a gym session to do. So I knew like at 5:15, I had to go down to the gym. I had to do my 50 minutes, and then get back up to the house, eat food, and get in, you know, for 7 into that zone. So you just prioritize and try to be as organized as possible. And yeah, and I never really resented it because I loved it. And I saw it's funny. My wife the other day, one of my friends is from Shannon, he plays at Wolf Tones here, and Johnny O'Connell came on in the league game and he got 2-2. Their last, I think, is 43, I think, this year. So when my friend was saying to me in front of my wife, she was like, "Don't even think about it. We're finishing soon." So just enjoy it. Is he?
Wow.
He's one of the most talented players I've ever seen play Ireland. He's gifted. So you're lucky to have a coach like that. You'll learn a lot from him.
Can I just tell you all a little insight to Dahi? I am an old neighbour of Dahi's, and I used to babysit Dahi. Now that's showing my age, and I remember him as a small boy, blonde curly hair, and he used to be out pucking the ball up against the wall like non-stop. Anyway, we go for the trivia.
What do you think about Tony Kenny? Tony Kenny.
So then me, I think he's a phenomenal learner. I've great time when I went to college in New Ireland, so I played with him and against him. Phenomenal talent, one of the best hurlers ever played again. And it's always a great day going out ranking one of the best I've ever played. So we take it as a privilege. Yeah.
Well, lads have asked fantastic questions. Is there a few? Has anyone asked a question that might be the last one before? Alan, Leo, you sure? Shannon?
Good thing's gonna win all Ireland.
Who's going to win the All Ireland?
So I can answer that one now that we're out. Hard to look past Limerick. To be honest, I know he's sitting here and I don't want to say it in front of him, but they're the pinnacle now at the moment. They're the team that everyone's chasing. It's hard to rule out Clare, Cork, and Kilkenny. I think they're the three chasing pack at the moment. But like I said, it's hard to look past Limerick, like, considering their success and the way they've been playing this year.
I just ask one question. I suppose you've all had fantastic achievements playing at county level for your respective counties, Clare, Limerick, and Tipperary. I suppose related to the class here, what would be your most memorable moments at underage level that stand out for you guys that was just wow when you think back at underage level?
I'll start. I went to school in St. Aidan's, so your rival school maybe if you were playing in a GA or playing in any sports. But so I was not too far from Conaires, and I would know a lot of lads in Conaires growing up and stuff like that. But my principal at the time was Gerlach Mann, and I don't know if any of you know Gerlach Mann, but he used to manage Clare, so he's equivalent to Brian Nolan during the 90s, and he's an excellent manager. But he was such a winner, so he was an unbelievable. Like he was obsessed with winning more than any person I've ever met in my life. And I'll just tell you one quick story, and it's one of my earliest memories of competitive sport. When I was in 5th class, they entered us so I was in 5th. We were playing A football and B hurling, and we won both. So the year after, he entered us in the A hurling and the B football, even though we won the A football the year before, because he didn't think we'd win it. So to make sure we won both. So that was my earliest memory of young competitive sport, and I thought it was mad. But anyway, so that's my answer here.
And on that part, Gerlach Mann used to work in St. Conaires, and I came across an old copybook. You know the way teachers have to do notes and things, preparation. So for his PE notes, the main game would be hurling. Nothing else.
Very good.
For me, Gary, I suppose in my club, South Liberties, we didn't have much underage success. But like what I can bring forward is that the age group that I was under, that the guys were playing with me, a lot of them now play senior hurling with South Liberties. The most I think does come up from any age group. So I take that as a really successful underage career, bringing those guys up with us to senior club level. So yeah, that's probably one of my, I suppose, best achievements to see.
Like Barry, we had a very small club, probably didn't win a whole pile, but I think when I went to school there in Keltmore, winning the All Ireland Harty, that was probably the best achievement I had as a younger lad, because you're actually hurling with your best friends, and winning something like that means so much more because you're with them every single day. So that would definitely be my favourite achievement growing up.
Who do you think will be in the All Ireland final?
Who's going to be in the All Ireland final? What do you
Clare
think?
Limerick.
Clare Limerick.
Oh,
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, keep going.
Teachers it's best to their not
Oh, go ahead.
teachers who supposed to be next year.
Teacher in Conaires.
Oh, Flynn. Oh, yes. They live up the road in Rathmaged. Yes.
Teacher in St. Conaires lives next to
great question.
What's a good retirement age?
Are you talking about sports or are you talking about working?
It's tough. It's so I was talking to Barry downstairs about this. The demands of inter-county training and games are high, and I suppose me personally, like I was saying earlier, I played like 12 months of the year, so I never really had a break. Years just fell into each other, and I always liked going back training. So when someone, a manager rang, I'd go back in. I wouldn't take a break. So I probably put a lot of load on my body early. I mentioned, like I was like a second-hand car by the time I got to my late kind of 20s because it's only miles on the clock. So the miles on the car, I had a lot of them put up. But I think if you look after your body very well, you can nearly play it to maybe mid-30s. Like when you look at John Conlon, who's 35, like Declan Hannon is 31, like, and he's still playing as well as ever. And Nicky Quaid's 36 or 35, 34, is he? He's younger. Nicky Quaid's 34. But unfortunately, because of the demands of the county, I started breaking down. My body started getting injured. I was getting back spasms. I couldn't sleep. So I had to retire probably a bit earlier than I would have liked to. I'd love to still be playing with Clare, but my body just didn't allow it. And maybe if I'd my time back, I would look after it a bit better, done more like mobility work, Pilates and yoga and stuff like that. But I suppose my body didn't allow me. So I'd say a good age is mid-30s to retire from the county. But yeah, that's what I'd say now.
When did you start playing hockey?
I started about 20 years of age.
Yeah, I came in, I think I was 18, turning 19.
And I think I came in around 21.
So the
Hi, Mikey.
It's only like varsity. This is like you've ever seen so many lads, so many titles up there, and won so much underage. He was at 20. But I was just kind of wondering, like, I can see the enjoyment from all of you even up there on the spot talk about, but like one thing that said to me when I was younger was they're in a bad mood, go training, go for a run. And Owen tip, and I think it was actually Owen's father who said to me when he trained with underage, let's go training instead. Best feeling you never get in words afterwards. Would you agree with that? Have you ever found yourselves kind of in the dumps going to training and it's not finding a training session, lift step or anything like that?
Yeah, 100% like you. I think it's gas the way Piper talked about. Like when I playing, he's 43. We still have lads who are playing 40, 41, and we're still playing, coming up to the field training. You get to tell them go away with their senior training on, like, because they're getting to that age where they can't, track as much or get that speed up. But I would 100% agree with that. I'm a massive advocate for it. I find, like Kyle there, when the season ends, I still do my own training. I have to. If I don't, I feel like I'm in terrible headspace. So I think it's very important for any, like as Sean said a while ago, it's important for any to keep growing up, to be involved in any sort of sport. Like it doesn't have to be a team sport, it can be an individual sport, it can be anything you want. And if you're going to the gym, even, different things, just getting out, going for a walk, I think it's so important to, if you do find yourself in bad headspace, just go out and do a bit of exercise. You always feel better after it, always. So yeah, I definitely agree with that statement.
Excellent. And can I just ask a question? In terms of looking after your body and your nutrition and everything, what about sleep and getting enough sleep? And I know all of you are probably sleeping as much as you can at the moment because you're all still growing. But like, how much sleep is enough sleep for you to keep active, Sean?
Yeah, I think probably the best recovery, I know other than about recovery, mind your body, sleep is probably the most important of all of them. Because if you wake up in the morning, you're cranky, and you're going to training cranky, you don't get the best out of yourself. And even you're not tuned in, I suppose. And it's an easy excuse as well to say that you didn't get a good night's sleep. So even with regards, I know phones these days, but people say they can't sleep because they're on their phone, and then they actually stay on it just to try getting to sleep. So it's kind of contradicting. And I think once you leave that in your locker and just put everything away, it's a lot easier to go to sleep and get your good night's rest in, and makes a huge difference for your vitality. Then go and train the next day, I think.
Yeah.
There's a physio, Michelle Biggins, in I think she's based out of Cork, but she works with the Irish Olympians as well, I think. But she did a PhD on sleep. And I actually have a presentation on it, Owen, if you want me to pass it on to you. But it just kind of goes through a few different tips. Like we pass it, but like a few different just tips and tricks to help you kind of sleep a bit better. But like sleep is like Sean was saying, it's most important too for recovery. Like people like when you talk about going to ice baths and saunas and all this, like that's it, like the cherry on top. It's all kind of, if you're sleeping 6 hours to get into recovery rooms earlier, like it's kind of counterproductive. So sleep is the most important thing. Like she recommends 2 kiwis, and like there's different kind of nuggets like that to help with sleep, and obviously the phone away and the phone out of the room, and she's different advice for athletes like blacking out the room and stuff like that. But I'll send on that presentation if you'd like, and there's some very good tips on sleep.
And how much does she recommend for athletes to
So
sleep?
8 hours,
8
8 hours, but always 8 to 9 hours depending, and then if the load's heavier, maybe 10, depending on the time of year.
Yeah.
So 8 to 10 would be her recommendation.
Wow.
So Sean got loads of sleep during the recent trip out of Conaires.
Recovery is at an all-time high that week.
I won't ask you about that.
I won't be able to tell you if I tried.
Okay.
In your off-season, what would be your pleasure? What's your John, by the way?
Guilty pleasures.
Sausage roll. What do you always say in the off-season?
To be honest, my guilty pleasures would probably come in more in season, because in the off season I'm trying to really be healthier again because I'm not training as much. So I try and look after myself even more in the off season, because I don't want to put on excess body fat to come back and have to lose. And I want to make sure that my muscle mass is still high when I come back. Because when you're training in season, you burn so many calories that you can afford to have that guilty pleasure. You can afford to have that, maybe the odd pizza at the weekend, or a bar of chocolate every now and again. So I find that like in season, I tend to allow myself to have those because I'm working hard for it. But in the off season, I'm probably a bit more restricted. That's just me. Like I'm different. Not everyone's different. They're different way of doing it. That's the way I find works for me.
Hey, Lucia.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, how you doing, everyone? Barry.
Hang on now a minute. I just try and turn up the volume of this.
Well, yeah, okay.
It's a bit low.
Okay, I'll say more at the end. But Barry, do you want to give a promotion to the Chicken Hut?
Chicken hut.
Yeah, that was the guilty pleasure. Yeah.
The gravy.
The Chicken Hut in Limerick. Have you got a question?
What would you count down for a big game when they're in All Ireland?
Pretty good question. Yeah. Nerves.
Calm down before a Munster final or an All Ireland final.
Yeah, it's probably something that I had to work on throughout my career. I definitely found myself getting too excited the night before big games when I was younger. So what was happening to me was the night before big games, I'd be literally like, did you ever hear saying bouncing off the walls?
Yeah.
Like I found myself like at a chin up area outside my room, and I found myself like doing chin up, and I'm just so psyched for the game. And I was like 16, 17. And then as you get older, you start to realize that's not helping. And I just found more relaxing things to do, whether that was maybe reading a book or watching a movie or just sitting down and chilling out or just meeting friends for a cup of tea or whatever it might be. But I did find I was by myself the night before a game and thinking about the game, and while it's important to, let's say, think about the game the week of the game and kind of start to, I suppose, get ready for it. Getting too excited the night before isn't going to help you. So I had to relax a bit. What was happening to me then was I was cramping. So my calves were cramping in big games when I was 17, 18. We played a Harty semi-final against Artskull, and with 5 minutes to go, my calves cramped. We played an All-Ireland minor final against Kilkenny, and with 2 or 3 minutes to go, my calves cramped. So what I had to do was relax a bit more before games, and like just not to think about it too much. I get too excited, and right then in the dressing room before the game, you start to ramp up and get in the zone, and then you can kind of get the adrenaline going. But yeah, just find something that kind of relaxes you a bit. Watch a movie or watch TV or whatever suits yourself.
Good question. Thank you. Okay, I think everybody's happy they covered enough questions. Any more from you, Quinn?
One question for Barry.
Barry.
What did you do when the match got delayed by half an hour?
When the match got delayed by half an
That's
hour.
a very good question. So I suppose it's the same for both teams. But literally all we did, we finished up our warm-up, which we were, like I was saying there, we were in the dressing room beforehand trying to get into the zone to get out of the field. Once we were out there, your adrenaline was pumping. But when they stopped the game, we had to go in, had to relax. So we kind of reset our schedule. So what we do, our routine that we usually would do, we'll say 20 minutes or half an hour before a game, we start back there. So we reset everything. We went back to the start. and we'll work from there. So we had maybe 5-10 minutes to kill. So what we did was we were just chatting ourselves. Like we usually music playing in the dressing room, having a laugh, having a bit of fun. Once that was done and the clock got to 15 minutes out, we started back into our routine again. So that's what we kind of did. We just went back to 30 minutes prior to the game and reset. Question.
Who's the DJ in the dressing room?
DJ in the dressing room. It varies now. Shane Flanagan is usually up there. Shane is Keno, our friend. You guys who would take over there.
Actually, because all three of you have had All Ireland success, Munster, a lot of success between. Have you celebrated your victories properly? Just for example, heard of, we'd say, when Shane Lowry won his British Open, there was a Scottish golfer won in Carnoustie about 15 years before that. Kind of like a Shane Lowry person, but he said he was watching Shane Lowry celebrate his British Open win. He was touring the country practically, and he was kind of going, I didn't celebrate my British Open win 15 years before that. Or even I've heard Ryan King say they won so many premierships because they never really celebrated. They kind of just moved on to the next one. And so a few people have kind of looked back and said we never actually celebrated what we won. Were you celebrating last 2 weeks ago? Did you celebrate your All Irelands and your club wins or your All Irelands? Like, do you get time to celebrate it, or is it moving on to the next one?
I think the way the season's kind of gone now, you have a very short window to celebrate it.
Yeah.
Because even at county level, if you win, you're back at your club pretty much next week. So you kind of try to make most of that time. And it's funny, you're probably celebrating with outsiders outside the group for the first couple of days. And it's maybe only a couple of weeks down the line when you actually have a chance to come together yourselves, maybe in gaps in the club week, that maybe then you actually get to celebrate together properly and sit down and enjoy your time together and talk about it. But definitely the windows are very tight now to actually go out and enjoy it.
You got to celebrate?
I think Sean, I think it's there. Like we got out Sunday, Monday after the final, and then you get a couple of days rest, and then when you go back in train, it's hard. That's it. It's done. You move on. All Ireland series. That's it. You know. So I think once Sean is right, you do get an opportunity to sell it, so you can hate the most of what you get. But then once that's done, you're just focused on the next task.
I think it is very important to celebrate milestones and achievements, and that's what we like to do. That is a really enjoyable thing to sit down and look back, reflect for a couple of days with players that you won it with, or if it's in a class environment where your business like wins, like or makes a profit or whatever it is, that you look back and reflect in the year and celebrate. So it is very important to celebrate those achievements. And I think if I look back, the only one like, you can't even regret it. The All Ireland was, we drew the All Ireland 21s the week after. Yes. And then the All Ireland was the week after that. We won the 21s All Ireland, which is a massive achievement in a county like Clare, like. And it was like the players that were involved in the All Ireland had to get on a bus, go to a pool, do a recovery session, and like coming out of the down, splashing water out for everyone and whatever. But that was the only one. But like I wouldn't change it. But that was the only one. Like that 21s group never had a night out or anything like that. It was kind of onto the senior league. That's the only.
Actually, just came from there. Did you in county football in Ireland, and had you a Munster game the following day?
Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah, we did. We had a few. So yeah, we were lucky enough. I suppose we won the county final on Saturday that year, and the Sunday we played the Munster club.
I just have Ben on the line here, and he wanted to say a few words. But second, I will just turn that down. Okay, Ben.
Hey, Lucy, I just downloaded a video. I'm sure it's one week.
Echo.
So can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
I know it's fantastic. Yes. Our favorite school back. Yes. I think we'll go to school a lot and show some partnership where we really got to be big as much as the captain levels. Yeah. We're talking about some of the ideas we have for next week. We'll do next Saturday, but the last time the guys were there, there were two individuals, and then one was still there today, but it was not as special and it was just a fancy. Obviously, like no preparation done. One question was how much my
Charlie, we have a here. Yeah.
And the other one question that was good was, whenever they got the money to set up this, yes.
We got the money. Nobody's put up their hands here. Maybe it was me.
But I think it's so pertinent and appropriate that celebration. And if you look as you're walking out of STS, there it's less talk. It's fun. It's a key part of our culture, and it's so important in terms of everyone's mental well-being. That's how it always says that everyone in STS is come to wear the jersey, and that's so very hard to get. But it is monstrous for us. I think one of the highlights of my year definitely is sponsor scholarships for people in twos. And the criteria for scholarships we sponsor people who badly need the money. And when we go in there every year, it's so beautiful. It's like we're that scholarship. So there's a guy called Calvin Rich. Was born in 4th of July, 1872. And he died on the 5th of January, 1933. He was the 40th president of America from 1923 to 1929. And he did a speech and he came up with a couple of words on press line. Can you hear me? Okay, so
Yeah, we can all hear you.
Perfect. So it's a press on. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent or not. Nothing is more common or successful than a talent. Genius or not. Unrewarded genius is the most applauded. Education or not. Work is uneducated intelligence. Persistence and determination. And all are omnipotent. The slogan press on and solve it. And always will solve the problems of human race.
Very good.
Excellent.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, we have a few little treats for you up here. Now I'm conscious that not everybody plays camogie or hurling, but you might know somebody who might. And I've asked the lads to sign a few slitters, and we've got some wall balls and slitters, and I'll hand one out to you all, and then we'll go down and get something to eat. How does that sound? Okay. All right, you can have it. Just before we finish up, just want to thank the lads for being a part of this today. Well done. Lots of interesting questions there for you all. And thank you all again for coming to St. Conaires School. And I wish you the very best in your graduation this evening and your future in education and your future in whatever sports that you might play as well. Or not. Okay.
You can see just before we go, I can just say on behalf of the school, thank you to Ben, to STS, and to the 3 lads, and to the boys and girls of 6th class. It's really fantastic to come back and to have the opportunity. I hope 6th class students never forget that. I know we remember the last day that we were here, but to talk to the lads who've given up your time, it really has been fantastic. Yeah. So thank you to see all in STS and the lads. So it's really marking for the years.
Do you want to start, and maybe the lads will give you a ball? What? Yes. Yeah, I recorded that chair outside. Everyone. Yeah, tell all the lads to come down. Round up as many as you can there. I have one for everyone, so yeah. So, thanks a minute.